Hey, I'm Dango from Amber Pacific, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to play the song All the Small Things by Blink-182. Now, Travis Barker is the drummer of this band, as probably everybody knows, and what's cool about this record, Enema of the State, came out in 2000, and this was the first album that featured Travis drumming on. Before that, they had another guy, and this was a big turning point for the band because this is when they blew up into the mainstream, this is when they had a #1 single, and this is when they really started to climb and reach the peak of where they got to. So this song, the video was really huge as well. There's a lot of cool things about it. It's just a really catchy radio song, and Travis does some fun stuff in there, and I remember hearing it on the radio and thinking, oh yeah, this guy's good, and you just aren't used to hearing guys who play a lot of busy things in a radio song, and Travis really paved the way for a lot of guys after that to be able to throw in cooler drum parts. Okay, let's talk about the verse to All the Small Things. It kicks in with basically a big drum hit, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's floor tom, snare drum, probably the kick drum as well. And that's essentially the pickup. It's really basic, but that's the kind of thing that just kind of kicks you and says, all right, the song's coming in. And then it comes in with a straight groove. He's riding on the crash cymbal, and it's just on the bass drum, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now what's cool about this drum intro is there's a fill thrown in there that's kind of a classic famous drum lick, and it's called Bucket of Fish. And so what this breaks down to, and that's what it is, and it's sped up, but the idea is it sounds like you're saying bucket of fish. So to learn to play that really slow, it's just snare, tom, tom, kick. Right, left, right, kick. And you can use that in a lot of things, but it's cool because he throws it into this groove. And so each time the sections turn around and after the chorus, he goes back to the intro groove like that, and he plays that fill in between going into each verse. Hey, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that. We've got more clips available at howtoplayanysong.com, so please check us out. Feel free to request any song you'd like to hear. We hope you enjoyed it.